Now let's jump into another quickfire round with some STL editing. Underneath this video is a link for a problematic headphone hook that I want to edit the STL of. So to do that, I'm going to first click in here, delete away this cube, I don't need it. I'm going to go over to then File, Import, and here you'll find STL, and then go over to where you've downloaded that STL. I have mine right here. I'm just going to click Import, and there we have it. Now, we know that something has been imported in because above my head you can see there's an object of the problematic headphone hook. We see there's an origin point, but I don't see it. Remember, you can press period on your numpad or press a backtick, and with that selected you can click View Selected and it'll frame it all up. Now this happens quite often where mesh isn't where its origin point is, because a lot of solid modeling programs don't really have an origin point, so to speak. So sometimes origin points are all over the place. So let's bring that mesh over to the origin point. If you remember right, that is right click for the object context menu, and here on set origin we're going to go geometry to origin. Fantastic. And then this is also at a little bit of a skew angle, so I'm just going to press R, constrain that on the Z, and I'm going to go this way by 45 degrees. So I'm going to put in 45, but I want it in the other direction, so I'll type in minus here and I'll hit enter there. Now take a look at the object properties. That means that I've just rotated the object. I want this object to be like this, sort of its state, its natural state. Just for the sake of it, I just want to be able to say that that's that there. So how do I apply that? Well, Control A opens up the apply menu, and we can just apply the rotation, and you'll see that it now shows up as 0. Now let's take this into edit mode, because this is what's wrong with this object. This space here is too big. Remember, going into edit mode, press tab. Now how do I know that space there is too big? Well, we could use CAD transforms. I could click it on here, make sure nothing is selected, press G and snap between those 2 points there. I can see that's 5 centimeters. Or I want to introduce to you a new tool, which is the measure tool right here. Now it is a little bit weird though. So if I click this tool, it's now on. Now it doesn't snap. We have to actually turn on snapping by holding down Control, and it has its own snapping style. It's different and independent to this one. So I'm going to click and drag from one vertex to another, and I can see here that it's 50 millimeters. I can click and drag down here and it makes another one. It deselects this one, but here's a little bit of a caveat. If you click out of this tool, they disappear. So just be aware of that. We're going to go back into the measure tool, and I want to show you how to delete these, because you can just click and press X to delete, or you can click on one to select it and then click and drag on it to get an angle off, so you can create a 3-point measurement. So I'll press X to delete the angle, and I'll press X once again to delete that, because 50 millimeters is a little bit thick for my table. My table is only 35, so let's edit this. But there's a lot of mesh in here. How can I simplify this mesh? Well, first, I think I want to select everything to do that, so I'll press W so that I go into my selection method, and I'll press A to select everything. Now, what I'm basically wanting to do is sort of a dissolve of everything that I don't really care about in this mesh. There's too many edges here. Now we know that there is a dissolve. I almost gave away the tool there. The limited dissolve is what we're wanting, a way of limiting that dissolve operation to angular change in the mesh, and that is sort of like a delete. So we'll press X to open up the delete menu, and here you'll see limited dissolve. So once I click that, oh my, that's deleted a whole bunch of resolution that I actually wanted. Let's open up that lovely little operator panel here, and here it is. Yeah, it's set at 5. I want to set this to 0.1 degree of a change. You can see now my faces have no edges across them, and this is a lot cleaner mesh to work with. Okay, I'm happy with that. Let's deselect everything. So double tap A, and that will deselect everything. I want to move this top part here. You might think that you can just left click and drag, but remember, mesh is solid. You cannot select through it. To be able to select through it, we need to make it invisible or have some sort of X-ray effect, and that again is with the toggle X-ray. So that is Alt-Z, and this way I can select everything there with confidence, and I have that all selected. I'll press Alt-Z once again to deselect that, and now we can use the 3D cursor and snap all over the place and use active elements and all the rest, but how about we just use CAD transforms once again? Now I have CAD transforms in my quick menu. Remember, right click, add to quick menu. So I'll press Q, turn on CAD transforms. I'll press G to activate the move tool. Then I can press left click and left click, and that confirms that move tool. So now I have to activate the move tool once again with G. And now I've got that little snapping circle. I'm going to snap it here. I'll constrain it on the Y, so I'll press Y. And this time I want to put in a numeric amount, so I'll put in 35 for 35 millimeters. I'll hit enter, and I'm quite happy with how this is. Now we have some nice simplified mesh here. I'll go back into object mode, and this is looking good, but you know what? I'm wanting to do a few more edits to that, and we'll get to that in the next video.